Hey guys, welcome back. So I thought I would do some energy reads, okay, for each zodiac sign. I'm just going to pull one card um, because I recognize that the you versus thems aren't for everyone. Right now, we're not all dealing with a relationship dynamic right now. Some of us are just looking to grow spiritually and emotionally and energetically. And so I felt the need to do an energy reading. Now, I posted a video yesterday, a members only video on the collective energy that I was feeling. And the collective energy that I was feeling was a mixture of like a whole lot of confusion and a whole lot of noise. And my advice to the collective was to sit in silence for a moment this week. True silence. No TV, no music, no background noises, no HZ frequencies, definitely no social media. Just for, a few minutes, really as long as you can stand it. Now, I can sit in silence for ever, and I'm totally fine in that. But some people are really uncomfortable with that. But I feel like there needs to be a purge of all of the junk going on upstairs for the collective because it's distracting us from what we need to do most, right? And you can't make smart decisions when there's that much confusion in the air. And so that's what I was feeling collectively. So I want to go down and narrow it down to each zodiac sign. And I'm going to use the cards. Yes, I'm going to take one or two cards, but I'm also going to use my intuition and what I know about astrology and what's going on in the planet right now. And see what we get out for you guys. So, Aries. Aries, the energy right now is really encouraging you to let the herd out. So I think that you need to, like I said to the collective, take a moment to collect your thoughts and to get into a space where you can just sit and feel and think and allow your brain and your heart to go there. There is a lot of heart chakra work going on a spiritual level for you, Aries. So I feel like the energy that you're experiencing is to encourage you to mend your heart. I feel like there's a really rushed energy around you where it's like, I've got to be doing this, I've got to be here or there, or I've got to push myself in this direction, or only positive thoughts, no negative thoughts, got to push that away, like that type of thinking. And while that's good to keep your brain busy, there is such a thing as like overstimulation. And when we're overstimulated like that, then we don't have the ability to process. So I feel like for you, the message really is all about processing emotion and being okay with it. Some of you have gotten into the habit that every time you feel a negative emotion, you immediately turn your attention away from that. And that can be a healthy coping mechanism, but it can't be the only coping mechanism. So some of you need to get into a space where you allow yourself to feel what you need to feel the reality of a situation, and somewhat be okay with it. There might be past issues coming up that trigger you as well, and the energy, because it's asking you to take a look at it. All right. So that was Aries. Taurus. So, Taurus, I'm feeling more of a peaceful energy coming in for you than I did feel for Aries. And it's kind of like a calming effect almost, you know? I think that you're ready for some new beginnings here, okay? And the card that came out is the Page of Wands. So, Taurus, there's a sense of getting in touch with your inner child and being encouraged to stay active within the energy to, yeah, I had Come On Baby Light My Fire playing in the back of my head. So I think the energy is quite a bit different than the Aries energy I picked up in, and that it's much more higher vibrating and at least in the moment, where you're maybe tapping into your more playful side. I feel like the energy right now is asking you to connect again with your inner child. You know, like Taurus, when we're children and we think all things are possible and we play, we activate a part of our brain that greatly diminishes as we age, and it's called imagination. But imagination can create manifestation if it's done correctly, right? And so I feel like, what do you want your life to be? And allow your mind to go there and imagine it. And let your mind be open to the idea that it can be whatever you want it to be, and you can be whoever you want to be, and be playful in the energy. It doesn't have to be so serious. Sometimes we get to have fun, right? And imagination is really key for you in this energy. You might feel really drawn to your imagination, or in a good way, in a creative way, in a playful way. All right. So, Gemini. Gemini, the Six of Cups. So, this energy is got you a bit stuck in the past and thinking about old memories for some of you. I have the song Fool's Rush In my mind. Not really sure what that's about. Gemini, I get a sense that in the energy, it is kind of similar to Taurus, like in reconnecting with your childlike self. But I also think that there is like a reminder of how far you came here. Like Gemini, there was times in your life where fools rushed in, and I feel like that was your energy that you were bringing to the table, you know? And it's not because you were a fool necessarily, it's because you were naive. And you put yourself into a circumstance or situation not understanding the depth of the lesson or what the outcome would be. But that's natural, okay? So that's part of living our spiritual paths and becoming mature adults, right? Because then we learn from experience. And I think that the energy is really supporting or encouraging you to look back and learn from past experience, but not like letting it damage you, but letting it grow you. And then specifically, it has to deal with the way that you communicate, which is really interesting because the reading I just did for you, Gemini, was about changes in the way you communicate, right? So you are kind of a future-oriented sign as an air sign. You're not typically someone who likes to dwell, who likes to live in the past, you know. So this energy may feel really uncomfortable to you. But, you know, it's necessary for your emotional growth. Cancer. Let's see. Cancer, you have the High Priestess here. So, Cancer, I feel like there's a lot of enlightenment, intuitive downloads being given to you during this time. It's almost connecting with your higher guides. Some of you want to learn how to connect with your guide or your spirit guide. And if you are interested in that and you put it out to the universe, then that's available to you. Okay, but you have to trust it first. And this is saying to trust your intuition as well. Trust your higher guidance. There's a calm energy here, Cancer. So I do feel that you're wanting to keep the peace or keep the calm within your energy. I think this energy is encouraging spiritual growth for you, a higher understanding of the bigger concepts and bigger pictures that are playing out in your life. And you're starting to see, Cancer, the connection between you and your spiritual self. And the more attention you pay to that, the stronger the connection becomes, which is helping to guide you in your growth, right? So becoming spiritual doesn't mean that, you know, you're never going to have bad things happen to you or you're never going to do bad things, you know, because we're human at the end of the day. It just means that you'll understand how to navigate it better and from a higher perspective, and life becomes a bit easier. You know, so a lot of you are coming into that energetic understanding, or at least you're being encouraged to. And there may be things that are kind of piquing your interest or pulling your attention that you never really noticed before, you know, like synchronicities and songs coming on when you hear them, and you know, thinking of something and then seeing it on social media, or you know, like things that Spirit's trying to draw your attention to. Do you know? So pay attention for the signs, Cancer, because the signs are all around you. Leo. Well, Leo, the King of Wands. Well, that's your energy. So this is all about self-confidence during this time frame, Leo, and building that self-confidence, which is so interesting because I did your reading, and I haven't posted it yet, but it's already done. And that was a big key component to that reading. And it was a key component to the last live I did. So I see this here again, this energy of building your self-confidence and being who you know, are truly meant to be, and not letting your insecurities override. This energy, Leo, is really shifting you to look some deep-seated fears about yourself in the face, and come to an acceptance for how far you've came, and you know, not to be afraid, okay? Because I think that whether you're conscious or subconscious of it, there is some fear-based thinking going on in the background, you know, kind of playing in the back of your mind of not being good enough or valuable or worthy, or like needing to prove yourself and prove your worth, and this internal dialogue that's running in the back of your mind is distracting you. It's called self-doubt. And because you feel the need, you know, to prove your point or prove yourself to yourself, you push forward, and it's a bit of a pushy energy. But it's better to be understood than right. You know, so I think that there's a way to be self-confident and continue to be humble. And that's what the energy is encouraging or growing within you. And one, you have to heal yourself and love yourself to have the self-confidence to do that. And then you don't become humble until life knocks you down a few times. And Leo, life has knocked you down a few times, you know. And that's to say the very least. So just understanding that every time, you know, you were knocked down, it was only to build you back up, not to keep you down. You can only keep you down, you know. So build that confidence. Build that confidence. Virgo. Virgo, you have the Two of Wands here. So I feel like the energy is, sorry, I just got a notification on my phone there. It distracted me. Virgo, the energy is very contemplative here. Okay, so this is asking you to take a moment to quiet your mind. And some of you are like, are you kidding me, Dana? I've been stuck at home for like 3 weeks or whatever, and that's all I've done. But not really. I think you've done anything but quiet your mind. There's a lot of chatter, you know, about the state of the world, and some of you have gotten really sucked into like theories or the news, or, you know, Virgo, you like to know what's going on in the world, right? You're a very analytical zodiac sign, so I feel like that's what you're doing. You're sitting back and you're feeding your brain information, and that satisfies your energy to some degree. But there's also an encouragement here to continue to find time alone, space alone, to reflect, and to not take things personal, to detach yourself emotionally from things that get you upset, riled up, and understand that truly nothing that is going on or is said or is done to you or towards you is ever personal. It's only ever personal to the person or people you're interacting with. And find peace in that, you know, find an understanding in that, Virgo. I think that if you have been at a crossroads and there's this energy here of kind of making your mind up and sticking to it, and you're trying to emotionally distance or detach in order to make your mind up, but I do feel that you have come to a conclusion. You have not acted on it yet, but you have a conclusion in your mind as to where you plan to go to next, and that's actually being supported in this energy. Okay, so it's like gaining perspective on the world or the situation before you make those moves, but you already know where you're going. And this is your confirmation. Libra. Libra, Six of Swords. So Libra, this energy is about not letting your emotions lead you astray, because there might be underneath all of that exterior, Libra, some pretty heavy emotional stuff going on in the energy for you right now. And it's important not to let emotional pain lead you in the wrong direction, right? So, because I get this feeling of almost feeling powerless in being able to control the emotions that you're feeling, or the trajectory of where this is headed for you. Like someone else has somehow taken the control out of your hands of where your own life is going, and that energy is actually going to correct itself during this time frame. So that won't last much longer, Libra. I feel like you're going to get your emotional well-being back in check. You're going to get rebalanced again, okay? So where your head and your heart are no longer at an impasse, because some of you are at an impasse where your emotional self and your logical self are not lining up. And that's a painful spot to be in, you know? Because sometimes logic tells us, you know, that something is not good for us, even though the heart wants it. And sometimes we need to listen to that. But I feel like you feel really drawn by your heart right now, that you question your logic. And so there's kind of like a debate going on internally about that. But I feel like you are going to get ahead of that energy and in control of that energy. And this energy is asking you to look deep into yourself, Libra, so that you can course correct, okay, into a higher vibrational type of thinking. Because some of you feel like you can't have, or like I said, not in control, and that's not the truth, okay? So you're always somewhat in control. You're definitely in control of your own emotions, but your perception is off. So you're telling yourself something that your heart is saying that's not the truth. And you need to come into alignment with that and some sort of understanding. And I feel like that's what's happening in the energy right now. Scorpio. So Scorpio, Ace of Pentacles here. You have some real opportunities coming for you. All right, so this energy that's going on for you right now is all about commitment. You know, and I'm not just talking about in relationships. Excuse me. I'm not just talking about in relationships. I'm talking about in all areas of your life. What are you committed to? I'm talking about your traditions, your beliefs, your thoughts, your opinions, your work, your health, and love. So this energy is saying that whatever you plant during this time frame is going to come to fruition in the future energy. So plant wisely. And make sure that what you're committing yourself to is things that you're really in for the long run, right? If you're not feeling that long run mentality, no matter what area of your life this isn't pertaining to you, then this would be a time to reevaluate that thought process. All right. Because I feel like what you're wanting is stability. Okay. So you're being offered an opportunity for that in the energy to honor your commitments, Scorpio, and honor yourself for the long term. Now, that may mean that you have to make some decisions during this time frame that are painful, that are going to hurt. You know, situations in your life where you entertain it, but you know that there's nothing long-term or something of value to be gained from it. You're going to feel the urge to no longer put your time and energy there, and you're being encouraged to do that because it's taking away attention from areas of your life that do have growth potential, that do have value. You know, so this could be a time to purge as well as to plant new seeds. Okay. Sagittarius. King of Cups. So Sagittarius, this energy is all about spirituality and getting in tune with that, getting enlightened, feeling emotionally controlled, at peace. Sagittarius, your energy has been quite irritable in the months leading up to 2019. I'm sorry, 2020 in particular. Actually, I had 2018 in my mind. For some of you, it's a 2-year cycle where it was like a very temperamental, moody type of energy. And now you're in this newer energy of learning to balance emotions better, healthier, be in a state of peace, really bring yourself to a more grounded space and be emotionally mature in the way that you behave, not just within love, but within life. It's very enlightening, and it talks about patience as well as emotional detachment, which is something I think energetically you're also doing some work towards, being more patient and balanced in your emotional self, okay? So there's internal work going on, and you're entering a new phase here of your life. One that has more peace. I like that. Capricorn. Seven of Swords. So Capricorn, this energy for you is bringing up a lot of shit that's been buried for a really long time. You know, this is shadow work. And I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but it's in the energy. So this is bringing up deceit, lies, things that we tell ourselves that aren't true, things that we bury, things that we cover up, you know, all rising to the surface in the energy. And shadow work is necessary, right? We kind of have to delve into our darker parts of us in order to appreciate our lighter parts, right? So I feel like there's some shadow work going on, particularly in relation to like insecurities, but I also feel like I wanted to say pessimism, but that's not the word. It's kind of like, it's not really that. It's more fear-based thinking, you know. And some of you, you might have like the shadow part of yourself intensified during this time frame. Like you might be like, damn, I am so moody, or like, why am I being so negative? You know, like you catch yourself. So I think that you're aware that you are kind of being sucked into that energy, or like, why am I in such a funk? You know, and so I feel there's an awareness there. And, you know, you're in a funk because you're being asked to look at your shadow self. And it's okay. It's okay to be in that energy. But there's a lot of things that I think you need to really concentrate on either speaking about or just feeling what you need to feel. If there's been areas of your life where you felt things were unfair that have created this fear inside of you, then this is a good time to either let it go or illuminate on it a little bit more. Like maybe sit with yourself and see that where the areas you're still holding on to, or where you need to forgive and forget. Aquarius. Ten of Pentacles. So Aquarius, you're in this energy where you just want to be stable. Like Aquarius, what the Ten of Pentacles is highlighting: family, marriage, commitment, relationships, your home, you know. And I think that your energy has been so scattered in the past, seems like forever, that you may have lost sight of those things or stopped putting all of your attention there, or it may be hard for you to have concentrated in all the areas all at the same time. And Aquarius, you are known for overdoing it because you think that you can do everything at once. But this is bringing your attention back to the things that matter the most to you, and really being encouraged to continue to invest time and energy there, to think about the things that create that sense of stability within you and understand the blessing in that, okay? So I think you're in this vibe where you just want cooperation. You don't want to, and my video cut off. I ran out of memory. Sorry about that, guys. But yes, Aquarius, like I was saying, you're wanting home. You just want to feel at home, you know. And it's, you know, some of you lost sight of the pleasures of that. But I feel like that energy is being highlighted. Like you're being encouraged to see that sometimes not all traditional things need to be uprooted, right? Aquarius, you love to rebel against any sort of traditional thinking or way of living. But it's like you can do it, you can have it, and have it in your own way, you know? Like having a family maybe is traditional, but you can create it in your own way, make your own traditions, and have that freedom as well. Pisces. So Pisces, similar to Capricorn, you're going to be going through shadow work in the energy, okay? But it's all in your head, you know. I think you're really getting in your head here, or you might have that ability during this time frame. There's this energy of like not feeling restrictions when there aren't restrictions, thinking about worst case scenarios when it's not going to be worst case scenarios, like even seeing yourself not as the beautiful soul that you are, you know, like picking apart the way that you look, or just not being satisfied, you know. And it's not even the truth of the essence of who you are, but you're telling yourself that, okay? Or there might be some nagging thoughts going on during this time frame. And the energy is encouraging you to take a moment to almost like let your mind play out all of the scenarios, even if they're worst case scenarios. Like go ahead and play it out in your mind. And then I guess like, and so by like playing out the worst case scenario, then you could somehow purge it. But okay, so like I feel like if you have been dwelling on that, on the other hand, then you're encouraged to purge the dwelling. So like there's a difference between like being in denial, you know, not wanting to even think about your shadow self or what could happen or stuff like that. And then you can go the other extreme with it where you sit and you dwell and that's all you think about, you know. So there has to be a balance there where you allow the idea that it could be a fact so that you can prepare yourself should it be. But that's as far as it goes. And then you let it go. Then you let that energy go. Right? So I feel like that's something that you need to do. Work on during this time frame. Because there's a lot of self-restriction type of energy here. And it's all in your head, you know. It's fear. You know? So I feel shadow work for you, Pisces, and I think be careful what you're lending your brain to as well. It might be good for you to communicate or connect with someone. It's funny because I wouldn't usually encourage connecting with someone when you're in such a, I don't know, some of you are in a funk or something, but I actually think it will get you out of your head, okay, to communicate. And to let the thoughts out, you know, like talk it out. Sometimes that helps. So that's the energy I have for you guys. A little something different. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know in the comments down below. Till next time, namaste. Bye.